Hey everyone, guess who's back? It's Kamish back here with another draft preview, and this time we got another great Tier 3 qualifier from last year, new owner that joined Tier 3 last year, just like Josh and Silver Bullets. These two owners I thought were the best owners in Tier 3 last year. I don't want to say by a wide margin, but I do definitely feel they were the best owners. We're talking about Vivian and Purple Unis, referral from Facebook. Looking like a great new owner, and I think because you obviously think you were the second qualifier in Tier 3 last year, it's also set you up to pick a great team here in Tier 2. And I think you have set yourself up potentially for success here in Tier 2 as well. And we could potentially see a jump to Tier 1 pretty quick. But let's get into your preview because there might be other options there to consider. And I'm sure you've probably looked into them, but it's always great to just do these previews and have a different look at things. So I'm going to share my screen, and we'll get right into your preview here. Vivian and Purple Unis, great new owner here that we've added to the format. So current keepers, so you're going with the Philadelphia Championship connection there, a quarterback and running back with Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts. Again, the dual threat quarterback is always kind of a pretty good quarterback to have in fantasy, right? Obviously, Lamar Jackson is the pinnacle, but Jalen Hurts can get to those additional yards having to scramble, which I think is very important. At running back, you're going obviously Saquon. I often wonder though, now that Saquon's got the title, he's been paid. Is the motivation still going to be there? I know obviously he's going to voice publicly that it is. Doesn't necessarily mean that it is, but Saquon was, let's face it, the fantasy player of the year last year. Best running back for sure. And hopefully for yourself, that'll translate into more success here in Tier 2, which obviously having Saquon is a big bonus, I think. And then wide receiver, DK Metcalf. Is this guy a linebacker playing wide receiver? Guy's massive. He's on the new team now, the black and yellow. Obviously, quarterback there, Aaron Rodgers. So we'll have to see if that translates into success for DK. And then Romeo and Dunze entering his second year of development. Chicago, no Keenan Allen there now. So you got to wonder if that's going to open up more targets for Roman Dunze. I think it will, to be honest. And then at tight end, you're going Brock Bowers. I think Brock Bowers could be the next Kelsey for the next decade. So I think if you're ever going to keep a tight end, right now the tight end you're keeping is Brock Bowers. Let's face it, he's one of the best, I think. And then if we look at who you could potentially keep, if you didn't want to go in Dunze maybe or a tight end or whatever, you do have Jawane Williams, which I know they have Jaden Blue there, a couple others to compete, so that's not 100%. And then, of course, Denver just signed J.K. Dobbins to a 1-year deal, so that could be another potential running back you could keep. Maybe D-Hop if you wanted to keep the veteran, but you're probably better keeping the younger wide receivers just in case you don't move up. And then at linebacker or IDP, you decided to go with Quay Walker. You do have some other options there. Obviously, you got TJ Watt could potentially be an option there. Maybe, yeah, I'd say that's probably pretty much it. Maybe Henley, I guess. But good core keepers. That's all I can say. I mean, you got a nice balance there, and it gives you a lot of options when we look at your draft pick scenario because you do pick 11th, which I think is not a bad spot, right? You do pick 22nd in the second round, then you can see 43rd, 54th. The last owner who had this team didn't trade any picks, so the benefit for you is you get to go in with a full complement of picks and really make this team yours. And I know obviously that's going to be your focus. And at pick 11, when I look at what Sleeper has for their top candidates at that point, you're probably seeing this guys on a lot of drafts. RJ Harvey, Caleb Johnson fit in that area of being able to be picked around that area. So it'll be interesting to see how you go. Will you go the running back? I think you likely will, just because of the simple fact that you're only keeping the one. But if you decided to keep one of those other running backs and ditch the wide receiver, you might go wide receiver here, which there is a lot of young options available as well, probably with that pick. Agbuka, could be one. Another one would maybe be Higgins or any other rookie wide receivers, really. Potential storylines for you. Well, I see you a lot. So honestly, and this is no offense to any of the tier three owners that have qualified here into tier two this past year. But I thought the three best owners in tier three last year were yourself, Josh, obviously, and Jake. And of course, Jake is in our division, and then Josh is in the other Canadian division. And the storylines are likely going to be the same for all three of your teams. If things go well, division champ, I feel, maybe even champ. If things go bad, the most I see happening is if things go bad is you miss the playoffs. I don't see you dropping to tier three by any means. And my commentary to you is the same as it was for Jake. Keep it up. I love the good ownership. I love the activity. There are a couple times I think where I did have to remind you once, I think, of setting your lineup. But other than that, I noticed you were active setting the lineup, etc., etc., and that is, at least the bare minimum of success. And I just want to say it's a pleasure having you in the league, and it's clear that you obviously do know your football with the quick advancement into tier two. And really, the question is now whether or not you're going to be able to keep that up. Especially now, excuse me, you have myself, Orion, not much of a threat, but Jake also in the division. So it's going to be a tough division next year, and it'll really prove your medal in tier two. So I just want to say good luck, Vivian, and we'll see you at some point this year. Bye for now.